Hey there, and welcome back to Tinglecon 2022. I am Nathan ASMR, and we are back, and we're actually live right now. So hello there to the chats, and welcome to Twitch, and thank you for joining us today for Tinglecon. We're actually going to be talking about role plays, ASMR role plays, and we have some very talented ASMR artists to talk about that today. We've got some questions here that I've written, and I'd like to ask them. But we also have some audience questions. And if you do have any questions, please leave them in the chat and we'll be sure to ask them towards the end. So we'll leave about half the time for myself and half the time for all of you. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our panelists here. We have ASMR Jeremiah, we have Shiver Me Tingles, and we have Amy K ASMR as well. And welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank
Good.
you.
How are
Awesome.
you?
Uh, I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic. Glad you guys could join us all today. And of course, some of us are across the world here. So yeah, specifically Shiver Me Tingles. Thank you for, I know it's probably pretty late over there. Thank you for joining us. So with that all said, why don't we dive into it here? So this is kind of a question we'll start off with my questions here. And I think that's a good way to kind of smooth into things. But I think we're sort of asking all the different creators here about Amy K has had a few times to answer this, so we'll skip Amy K for this one question and then go to Jeremiah and Shiver Me Tingles, so they get a little more time to tell everybody about themselves. Do you want to tell us about your channels, what people can expect to find if they were to go visit? Jeremiah, do you want to start us off?
Sure, happy to. And thanks. I'm really honored to be here. This is really cool.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So glad to
Um,
have you.
yeah. My channel is all over the map. So I do focus mostly on role plays. But I didn't
Ignore
start. Yeah, I didn't
that.
start that way. I thought I would be doing like trigger videos and like mushy sounds and like Zeitgeist or ASMR Dennis or classic. But my background is as an actor, and I live in Los Angeles. And somebody said you should try doing a medical role play, and I was like, "What?" I was so clueless back when I started, and then that led to this other thing, and then that led to another thing, and then but I do what to expect at my channel. It's like, yeah, you're gonna see doctor videos, but you're also gonna get like dominant, but not in a sexual way. Don't get weird. It's just like firm. It's not like sexy time. And then you're gonna see funny stuff. I do like a bro character, Helmut character. I do therapy. I do all kinds of interrogations. I love accents and voices, and so yeah, I'm all over the map. But I guess it is generally a role plays of all kind focus. So yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. That sounds amazing. Shiver Me Tingles, do you want to tell us what people can expect to find at your channel and where they could find you?
Yeah, totally. So if you pop over onto my channel, you'll definitely find a lot of videos that are to do with role plays, specifically personal attention. There's a lot of medical role plays. I really like to create a nice, safe, comfortable atmosphere in terms of medical role plays, especially. But you'll also get like your kind of spiritual Reiki style videos, and a couple of comedy ones as well. Comedy videos are definitely my favorite ones to make. I like to infuse that good old Kiwi sense of humor that I'm sure you're familiar with, like people like Taika Waititi. It's very like dry humor. But yeah, lots of personal tension. Not so much tingle like kind of trigger assortments anymore. Definitely more getting up close and personal. It's definitely the style that I prefer to make.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So I think we'll go ahead and just jump into this next question. So what kind of ASMR do you particularly like? Jeremiah, maybe you could start us off and we'll go through everyone for this question. What kind do you usually watch? What's the kind of stuff that really inspires you as a fan?
As a fan,
Also on one other question, and also like, how did that lead to you becoming a creator?
okay. Well, as a fan, the stuff I enjoy watching the most tends to I'm on two kind of extremes. It's either like, ASMR Atlas style, cinematic, very visually beautiful, overlaid kind of cinematic ASMR, or like no talking Zeitgeist, where it's just pure audio, and I'm not because when I'm listening to I don't fall asleep to people talking to me. I'm always trying to listen too much. So if I'm falling asleep, I want it to just be sound. But for, watching my friends, yeah, Cat Bailey, Atlas, like that kind of like cinematic style of ASMR is my favorite. The second part was what is
Just how did that lead to you becoming a creator?
oh God, how did that lead me to become? What's okay? I mean, confession for those. I talk about this on my Twitch stream, but not so much on my YouTube channel. I had no idea what ASMR was in the beginning of 2020. I had never heard of it. I was doing some contracting work for a friend out in Vegas. I was doing like painting and wood paneling stuff. And I said the word stipple. I was stippling the paint on his wall. And he goes, "Oh my gosh, that's an ASMR trigger word, stipple." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, ASMR, autonomous sensory reading response. I'm just like, dude, I can make up words too. I have no idea what you're talking about. And he said, you have to, try this. So he showed me some videos. He showed me Zeitgeist, ASMR Dennis, and a few others. And I was like, this is oddly satisfying. I was like, I was like, whoa, what is this? Okay, this is cool. And my background was as an actor and then doing voice acting and so audiobooks and stuff. So I was like, I already had the setup. I had a mic and some knowledge of like editing. And so I was like, well, okay, and then this is right at the beginning of the pandemic. This is like February of 2020. Lockdowns happened in March. And my first video came out February 18th. And it's like, well, I guess I've chosen something that I can work from at home, which was amazing. And that's kind of, but yeah, it wasn't like I was into ASMR and I was like, oh, I should try that. It was just like out of left field. And then 2 years later, here we are.
Wow, that's fantastic. I just want to stop for a second here to say hello to Bearded Audio ASMR. He just says here, can I just say Shiver Me Tingles is an amazing channel name and I love it. Just thought we should, we got to share the hugs here. We got to share the hugs. And also he says, I remember Jeremiah telling me the story. It's such a good origin story. That's really cool as well.
Thanks.
So, all right. So Shiver Me Tingles, what about you? Do you want to tell us about some of the stuff that you like to consume as a fan? And then maybe also how that kind of led into you creating your own channel?
So I'm definitely a cinematic ASMR fan. There's always like this ambition to try and do it, but it's so hard. Like props to people who make cinematic ASMR. I really love Moonlight Cottage, far out. Like she knows what she's doing. And I really like Myling ASMR as well. She has a video that she's been hinting about for the last week, which is like a makeover video that I'm just like, where is it? Give it, give it to me. And I do really like the kind of more, I don't know what the word is for this, but like kind of more wholesome role play style, like Goodnight Moon, for example. She's really like got that kind of warm atmosphere. So definitely ones like that. So I've been listening to ASMR for like 11 years, I think. If you pop over to my channel, I actually have a couple of videos that are about 9 years old.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
back
that.
when the community was really small and we were all on Facebook. And just like creators that don't really make content anymore were like around about that time. But I then had to go to university and study, so I stopped making ASMR. So in terms of like how the ASMR I listen to impacts the kinds that I make, I guess because I've been listening for so long, I kind of get ASMR from everything now. I think I've like got fine-tuned my tingle muscle. So if you've got a video that has ASMR at the start of it, I will listen to it and be like, yeah, this tingles. And other people are like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's tingling. And they're like, well, they're building a cabin out in the woods with like sticks. I'm like, those ones where people are building like huts and stuff out of bamboo. I'm like, yeah, this tingles. So yeah, it's definitely the stuff I've listened to over the years defines the stuff that I like, but I feel like the stuff I make probably doesn't align as much with that just because there's so many different influences and it's kind of hard to pinpoint one. But yeah.
Awesome. We're going to jump to Amy K here. I just want to read one comment here from the chat, which is from Yaloma ASMR. She says, Jeremiah is such a great actor and he's so funny. He made me laugh so much as Prince Charming in our Snow White collaboration with Jodie.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. Thank you.
That is so nice. Amy K. All right, so you've had a chance to answer this question, but I think I'd like to maybe do you want to talk about some other ASMR that you haven't had a chance to? I mean, I'm sure you watch a lot. What's some stuff like as a fan that you are liking to watch? I think, maybe that you haven't spoken about before yet.
Yeah. So I already talked about like cinematic and fantasy ASMR. Obviously, I love those. But the other type of ASMR that I absolutely love that I prefer to watch, like when I'm like doing my makeup or when I'm cooking or when I just want something on while I'm, folding clothes, whatever, is character role plays that are like mean or sassy or like Jeremiah mentioned before, where they're just like they're stern, and I don't know what it is, and not necessarily just that, but like something where they say things to you that is just like not socially acceptable, and I don't know what it is about that like I love that. I don't know why it makes me like it gives me ASMR. I think because they break down the boundaries of what's socially acceptable in a normal conversation, and you don't have to like worry about how you respond to them. I don't know. It makes you feel like comforted and calm, even though they're like like being mean to you. I don't know. I love character role plays that are just and the silly ones too that are just like this character is insane. I mean, Nob the Goblin. Okay, we got to shout out Nob the Goblin.
Yeah, we are really loving Nob the Goblin here at Tinglecon 2022. Let's be real, right? I mean,
gotta show
it's genius.
Some love. I just love just like insane characters that are just so over the top and weird, and I just love it. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, there's actually something interesting I want to just interject here, and we'll jump into our next question. But that's just in Asian culture is what I've heard, and I've just read this, that some of the things that make mukbang so popular is that it's sort of almost like a way you could think about a punk thing, where it kind of is rebellious against the eating norms. And in a way, it's kind of maybe touches on that same thing where it's like the stern thing. There's something about that rebelling against authority that does have some connection to ASMR. I'm not sure what it is. I'd have to probably think about it. But
I do think
something
that's
there.
got to be connected, because it's something that's just like, this isn't acceptable in normal day.
100%. Well, maybe there's something to do with that expectation aspect. It's like different giving ASMR is about expectations. So maybe the difference of expectations,
it's got to be tied to like social anxiety in some way. Like just rips away the social anxiety because there's no social expectations or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like this is my worst fear in real life, and I'm watching it and it's making me like relax. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
It's just, like, got to be something weird and psychological. Who knows?
Absolutely. And I think everyone comes to ASMR for different reasons too. So, it could be for one thing for one person and one thing for another. And so let's go ahead and jump into the ASMR role play aspect here, because I think that's, the main focus of this panel here. But obviously we're talking about ASMR in general. Jeremiah, do you want to lead us off here? Can you talk about maybe some steps that you take? I know you're very famous for your doctor role plays. I was literally trying to do a doctor role play and I was like, Jeremiah, that's the guy. But what do you think? What are the steps you take when you're creating a good doctor role play or just a role play ASMR in general?
Thanks. So with the medical stuff, it was actually quite a fair bit of research. I was like, well, if I'm going to go do doctor role plays, I need to watch a bunch of doctors actually doing things, like real doctors. And luckily, YouTube, of course, has hundreds of videos of actual doctors doing actual cranial nerve exams or actual this and that. I did my recent one, I did a awake brain surgery, and I was just like, this is a real thing. Like people are like playing the violin during brain surgery. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
So with the medical stuff, it was a lot of watching and learning and then, getting key props, but they're not even as important. I mean, it's really, it was just knowing the order of a actual medical visit with your doctor. Other role plays that are non-medical, I had to meditate on like, okay, what do I want to do with the dad role? There's just so many. Like the dad role plays came about with the idea of like, what would it be like to talk to my future kids and explain to them, what does daddy do? And so that first one was just like to eventually share with my kids someday, it's like, what did daddy do? Well, here's daddy talking about making ASMR, and I thought that would be fun. And that led into this whole series that I didn't expect the reaction, and that became like this, like the dad tucks you in thing. But I'll just like meditate on like, okay, what do I want to talk about? And then I don't really script hardly at all. I do I don't get a ton of outtakes. I'm a pretty good improviser, and so yeah, it's more just getting really clear about what I want to do and have like guide points throughout that I want to hit, and then I just literally have a conversation with the camera as if they're a person, and I have kind of like a gestaltian, like in my mind they're actually asking me questions and I'm answering their questions. And so I'm just like having a dialogue with myself. It's interesting. I don't know. That's my process. So
Absolutely. That's awesome. What about you, Shiver Me Tingles? What's your general process when you're creating a role play video?
So before I begin, I just wanted to say to Jeremiah, your like dad role plays, I'm not sure if you're aware, but like those kinds of videos are like extremely healing for a lot of people who have strained relationships with their parents. So like when people make these like mum and dad role plays, I hope that they are aware of like the importance that they have in people's life, because so many people have just really difficult relationships with parents. So that is extremely powerful, and I hope you're really proud of that. To answer your question, the process. So leading on from that, the reason why I have such a focus on medical role plays is because I feel like a lot of people have not a great time in the medical world. I personally have quite a bit of medical trauma myself. So I try to create an atmosphere where consent is hugely important. A lot of people kind of ignore consent from doctors because they're medical practitioners, but at the end of the day, you should still be asking to like work on people's bodies if they're obviously able to. So making a safe healing experience for people, especially like in the States when you have quite expensive medical care, it's a very much when I say here, I mean New Zealand. Medical relationships are very personable, and they kind of lean more towards like client versus patient like relationships. So I really like to push that into my videos, just to create like a really like safe, healing, comfortable environment, while also kind of tapping into what I know people really want. If it's not a medical role play, I really like to play into humor. I think humor is a really underrated way to relax. You can like fuse ways to like trigger ASMR, but humor is such a powerful tool to like move through things and kind of chill. A lot of people can find ASMR kind of uncomfortable if it's really intense and like super and like that. But if you just throw a couple of jokes in there, it kind of relaxes the atmosphere, I find. And I know, Amy, you really like to do comedy as well, and I wonder if that's another reason why that. And they're really fun to edit.
Yeah.
Once like they're much, but like if I'm like doing a trigger assortment, and this is why I don't do them so much anymore, if I'm like tapping on something for 20 minutes and I'm editing this, like like I'll be taking many breaks because just this continual like tapping. Whereas with a joke, you get to like edit around it to make it just way funnier.
Exactly.
yes.
I wanted to say there's a comment here from Joseph Debrosif. Shiver is such a gem. Her videos are chef's kiss.
Oh,
Some love there. Let me just glance through here. Do we have some other? All right. Is the lady in the bottom from New Zealand? I think that's a question. Do you want to answer that, Shiver?
Yes, I am from Aotearoa, New Zealand. That is 9:30 probably now. It's 9:30 in the morning. Yes, 9:30 in the morning here. Yeah, tomorrow. So it's the future.
Awesome.
We're still alive. It's all good. Everything's fine.
All right. So Amy K, do you want to talk about roleplay ASMR? Maybe like, I guess you've sort of talked about cinema or like cosplay and stuff like that, but do you want to maybe talk about specifically how you sort of prepare for your roleplay ASMRs, maybe in contrast to some of the other ones?
Yeah. So obviously, I did explain a little bit my process about how I watch a lot of ASMR, and if there's a trigger or something that makes me tingle or relax me, then I kind of get them all together and I form a video around that. But in terms of like what character do I want to play, sometimes that's really hard for me because I'm like, do I want this one to be silly? Do I want it to be serious? I kind of just like kind of pull it out of a hat. Sometimes I'll ask people on Patreon, like, what character do you want to see? Do you want to be sweet? Do you want to be mean? Do you want to be whatever? And they choose, and then I'll go with that. Sometimes I already have a character in mind because, maybe I saw a movie or something where they had a really silly character, and I was like, yep, that's what I want to form it off of. For the more like cosplay cinematic-ish ones, I script them, but for the role plays that are just like characters, I do improv because it's just easier. Sometimes I'll like write a joke or something that I maybe want to like put in there, but I'll just like write a note on the side and I'll just throw it into the video. So those ones are so much easier for me to make. They're kind of like my easy videos, but sometimes they're the ones that get the most popular. Like my most popular series was a last minute idea that I just got in front of the camera and I just started talking, and of course that's the one that got popular, is the one that I put zero effort into. So yeah.
That's so true.
The algorithm knows. The algorithm knows.
Yeah, I have
no correlation between effort and performance.
Yeah.
No, the ones I put the most effort into traditionally do the worst. It's like it's such a weird double-edged sword.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty aware of that now. At first, when they tanked, I took it so personally, but now I'm just like, hey, I understand that it's not very clickable. What people want is things that they recognize. If they're like, hey, I gotta fall asleep, I have to wake up early, I have 20 minutes to fall asleep, I'm gonna click on something that I know works, which is like maybe cranial nerve exam or haircut. I'm not gonna click on some thing that looks like a movie but it's an ASMR thing. And so I understand, and I make them because I want to, but I also throw in the other stuff, which I love making as well. But yeah, my process is all over the place.
Yeah, but your alien ones are amazing, though.
Yeah, that one was one that I made just like, I feel like crap today, and I just want to do something stupid, and I just turn on the camera, and of course that's the one which I'm very glad for, but...
This is not cow! Oh my God. Just in hysterics at the start, it was amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Fantastic. We have a comment here from Yopela, aka Loma SMR. What I like about role plays is that is the same as a viewer and as a creator, receiving or giving personal attention without the awkwardness of real life interactions. All right. That is deep. That's deep. We also have one more comment here. Independent Bitch says ASMR roleplays are the best. So that is true. And also Bearded ASMR says, I really need to sleep as soon as possible. I think repairing your robot legs, your Darth Maul, says Ian.
Right.
Thank you for that.
I wanted to just add on to something Shiver
Please.
said, like regarding the parent-dad roleplay stuff. My God, the comments I've received are the most heart-wrenching, beautiful. Just got a misty there. It's just like, yeah, the impact that I've had is it boggles my mind, because it's not what I set out when I started doing like the dad role plays. That was not on my mind. It was literally just, yeah, I'm gonna tuck in my kids someday and I'm gonna talk about things, and the comments of just like the vulnerability, it blows me away. So yeah, I don't take it lightly, but yeah, it's incredible.
I feel like it's not talked about enough, because I feel like some people are embarrassed about saying that they watch those. I love like mother role plays. Whispers Red has like this, she's amazing at it. She has this one tucking in video, and it's like so sweet, and I agree, it's healing. Yeah.
I really love
get past that. It's kind of weird at first, but then once you're past that, yeah.
I really love Ray Moon. Ray Moon does a lot of
Yes,
like queer validation videos, which are just like it's just so nice to hear like that from like a mother figure. She's lovely. What an amazing woman, honestly. Really, really love her stuff.
Absolutely. We have another comment here from Angela Adventure. The comments on the dad role plays break my heart as a viewer. I can't imagine from the creator side.
Mm,
Oh yeah, I mean, I get really like it is genuinely touching. So please,
yeah.
everybody out there that's commenting, I read every comment and I am genuinely touched, moved, and inspired by the warmth and the generosity and the vulnerability. People write really personal things in the comment that are just like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
that's, wow. That was took a lot to share that. Thank you.
Mm.
Wow. So yeah, thank you, Angela. By the way, shout out to Angela. She's awesome. She's hilarious.
Absolutely. Here's another comment from Independent Bitch ASMR says the one that you guys said about putting in humor on the roleplay medical videos, it just calms you as well for those moments. We also have one other one here from Bearded ASMR. And by the way, we're going to now, after this, jump into our audience questions because we have a bunch here. And I want to make sure that we have time for those. But this comment here is from your Bearded Audio ASMR. And Ian says, doing a dad video after going through bedtime with 4 kids, I've never even thought about recording it. I'll have to think about this one. It's clearly very helpful.
Mm.
And he is like an amazing dad. Like talk about like the perfect guy to like be that. Oh, I think that would do very well, my friend. Yeah, you're awesome.
Absolutely.
Lots of
We
practice.
got another. Absolutely. We got another comment here from Keo Rochia. You all are changing my thoughts on mom and dad videos. I always found them very cringy and that people would always sexualize them, but I don't know. You're changing my mind a bit.
Yeah, that's like actually, I do funny mom role plays because I haven't like fully jumped into it yet. But for a while, I didn't do it because I was like, oh my gosh, people are gonna be like, mommy, mommy, like, you know. But
You know.
that's
Yeah,
like,
I get that. It's like, daddy. It's like, don't do that. I'm not here.
I
Okay.
mean, very, very little do I get that. The majority of it is like a positive thing.
Yeah.
Or, them joking about trauma because most of my audience is Gen Z, but like I relate.
Absolutely. And I think as ASMR artists, particularly amongst YouTubers, it is with the big, large, sizable audiences, you play more. I think it was actually Tirana Deguelo who said this in the ASMR Legends interview, which you will hear tomorrow, first thing. But just that, there's a responsibility there because as an ASMR artist, you're almost like a friend. You play more than just a YouTuber role for a lot of people. And like you said, it is a sense of healing that I think comes from viewing ASMR. So let's go ahead and jump into our audience questions here. There's some really good ones here. And this one is from Jade the Ace. And I don't know if this has been asked, but I'm curious what you said is your most cursed roleplay, if you have one. Yeah, Jeremiah, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, God, what are some ones that have just been like absolute duds? Or I guess what does it mean to be cursed role play?
Yeah, I wonder what that means. I think maybe worst. JD Ace is in the chat, so maybe they can clarify that.
What I take cursed as is not necessarily like it's your worst one, but it's the one that you would see on like Reddit of people like making a like weird meme. I don't know. I just see like I know for me personally, my most cursed ones that are non-fan. I have a lot of cursed fantasy ones, but like I did a Tom Nook roleplay, and it just like turned out so cursed looking. And in general, that was the most cursed video that I could think of. Like, there are a couple times where I thought about deleting it, but then I also have people that are like, this is my favorite one. And I'm like, why? Why? But yeah, that's my cursed one.
Yeah, JD Ace in the chat, just to clarify, says worst, unhinged, weird is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like that's one that I wouldn't tell, people that I've made kind of thing.
my oddly most controversial one was Helmut is your gynecologist. Like that got a lot of views, but I also like it when I dropped that, I lost so many subscribers. Like it was the weirdest thing. People were just like, "No, this is a bridge too far. This is too much." But then the response, mostly from women, was like, this was amazing. Thank you for normalizing women's health. And I loved it. You took a really kind of a scary thing and you made it funny and warm and it was just funny because it had like such a weird reaction. Like some people were just like, no, like I don't, and then others were just like, this is the best ever. So yeah, that one was definitely one of my more up and down videos. So
Awesome.
I've
We do
definitely had
have oh, I was gonna say one thing. Angela Adventure also says organ harvest, Jay.
right. Well, again,
That does sound weird.
And okay, and with the comments I got on that were so funny. It's like, it's called harvesting your organs. People are like, this is not relaxing. And I'm just like, look, it's I don't know, it's creepy, it's intense. I don't know if I would find it relaxing either, but it's like, it's in the title, people. Like, come on. I didn't call it petting puppies. I called it harvesting your organs. I'll make
Jeremy
it spell
Tingles,
it out for you.
did you want to give us your most cursed or weird, unhinged, weird, worst? Yeah, any one of those words.
I've definitely had cursed ideas. I thought about doing Shiver Me Chingles and doing like an inverted. I believe Miss Manganese did one recently. I considered putting some eyeballs on my chin and then doing ASMR upside down and just doing like a mukbang or something. But it's a bit cursed. So I'd probably say the weirdest one I've done, and this isn't even that cursed. Do you guys know what Black Books is? Do you guys know? It's a British comedy show, and it's about a bookshop, and the guy that owns the bookshop doesn't actually want to sell books. He's actually really misanthropic and an alcoholic and Irish. Anyway, so I did like a femme version. So his name is Bernard Black, and I called my character Bernadette Beige. And it's just like this very like uninterested bookstore role play where I do Reiki on books to get rid of the secondhand energy off them. It's just get the
That's
shooting for.
hilarious.
And yeah, like you just watch Black Books first, and like you need to. It's like a cultural staple in terms of like British comedy. But yeah, then watch mine, and then you'll get the context. But if you haven't, you might struggle.
Well, I'm a huge Red Dwarf fan, so if it's anything like that, then I'm in. Okay,
Red Dwarf
so
sci-fi, isn't it? Red Dwarf
yeah,
sci-fi?
yeah, comedy sci-fi,
Comedy
yeah, like
sci-fi.
absurd sci-fi.
Yeah, okay.
With a bit of dry British sass and humor as well. You got to have that in a little British wit. Riley Roses says, one of my favorite things about ASMR roleplays is that I can experience things that will never happen to me. That is definitely true. Black Books is amazing, says Angela. Oh, sorry, Jeremiah, you were going to say something?
No, I said, yeah, let's hope. I mean, I don't want anybody to have their organs harvested. That would be terrible. So yeah, please, that would be terrible.
That's like such an interesting form of role play, is like the You Are Dead role plays, because like at first you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, that is the weirdest thing ever, how is that relaxing? But it is relaxing. And I do want to specifically say that Joycey B. ASMR has one where she's a mushroom and she's decomposing you, and it's my favorite You Are Dead role play, and I don't know why I love it, but they're tingly. Okay, no expectations. Okay, I'm just a viewer. I'm dead. Okay, I'm just accepting the tingles.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that existed. I'm gonna have to go check those out.
It's amazing.
That sounds cool. That sounds kind of cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We have another comment here from Independent Bitch ASMR. I would like to see more scary ASMR roleplay horror type, but I see those videos don't do well since people can't relax with those, I guess. But I would love them.
Yeah, it's like my interrogation videos are. Because I have completely divergent audiences. Like there's the side that comes for like my creepy stuff, like the dark, the noir-y interrogation. What do you call it? Like not quite, sort of, kind of torture, kind of like light torture. And then, but the audience that like wants, dad tucks you in, like they don't watch those. So whenever I drop one, like the creepy videos, what happens is non-subscribers spikes. but like regular watchers, like, yeah, not so much. But you just get like a different, yeah. But they don't do terrible. Like, I don't know, not as well as like my comforting videos though. So yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Some horror videos I like. Some are actually a little too scary for me. But there was a horror panel last year, and it was very interesting hearing them talk about it. Or was it the year before that? I can't remember. There
I
was
think it was the year
horror
before that,
panel,
actually.
horror panel one of the years, and they were speaking about how when you're scared, you have like these heightened senses, and can give you like shivers, and that's why it kind of like crosses with ASMR, and it can enhance your ASMR. So I think that's why like horror ASMR is something that some people really enjoy.
I hadn't thought of that. Makes sense.
ALB did the Hereditary one. That movie.
Yeah.
No, never again.
We got a bunch of comments here. I wanted to read through them. Can I just ask the panelists here? We have a bunch of questions here, and I want to like leave time for them. How much time do you guys said you have? Maybe another half an hour? Is that okay? Just because I think we have a bunch more here, and I want to make sure. It's
I'm
up to you
chill.
guys, though.
Good.
Oh, you're good? You're good. You're good. All right. Just want to make sure before we move forward here. Fantastic. Okay. So I'm going to read these comments here. So we'll go for 30 more minutes here. So if you don't have your questions in by then, we're moving on. So here we go. Hey, go. So FamCam says that I hear the words "you are dead" and I want to play Resident Evil 4. JVA says pretending to be dead for role plays helps make me feel sleepy. That makes sense. Carol Rokia says, I love that mushroom video. Oh my God.
Yes.
And let's see. RASM Architect, only light torture is okay. Angela Adventure says, it's just a little light torture between friends. That's okay. We love that. We love that. All right. So we got some questions here. We'll move on to the next one. This one is from FamCam. And again, if you do have questions, we have a little bit longer, so leave them into the chat, the Twitch chat, and we'll make sure to field them and ask them if we have time. But it looks like you do, so if you submit soon, you'll be able to ask. So FamCam asks, question for the panelists: what is your favorite character to play, or do an impression of, whether you've done it in ASMR or otherwise? Jeremiah, do you want to take a since you are an actor?
It's
that's a tough
several.
one for you.
Well, it's like my favorite character that I first did that I kind of got known for was Teddy Quid. So just that that London gangster guy, and it's basically based off of Jason Statham, like that character. Yeah. So that's really fun to do that guy. And then
is that a gentleman? Is that a gentleman collab reference?
He's like South London. I mean, he's classy, but you don't want to mess with him because he'll find you. He has ways of finding you. So it's like,
really want another gentleman role play.
Yeah, I know, the Gentleman Part 3.
We can all dream. We can all dream, baby. We can all dream. Atlas, when you come back from your long break, we're all waiting, man. No pressure.
And then like I really like the silly characters. Like Helmut started out. I did like a hairstylist role play, and then one of my Patreons was like, "Do you want like way more over the top and kind of like flamboyant?" And I was like, you know what's perfect is like German, because you don't really know where they're gonna be. It's like you can be anything into German. It's like it's fun. It's like cool. And so Helmut became really fun, and then this character Bro, because I used to work in the South. I used to work in the South Bay, like the home of where bros are from in America, and there really is like a way of being where it's like it's a certain kind of like vibe, and it can be cocky, but it can also just be like mellow. And so that led to, but then it was weird things where it's like, Bro kidnaps you, and then like Bro cuts your hair. It turns out like his twin brother. Anyway, so those are like the three that come to mind are like Teddy Quid, Helmut, and Bro are they're always just fun. Like I just have a good time with them.
As somebody from the East Bay and FamCam is from the North Bay, we can confirm there are a lot of bros in the Bay Area. That is for certain. There's no doubt. Shiver Me Tingles, what about you? Is there a favorite character you like to play or do an impression of, whether you've done it in ASMR or otherwise?
I don't really feel like I've done many characters There's like one or two, like Bernadette. Um, I did a fairy character like literally like 10 years ago that a lot of like older subscribers have asked for, which I'm planning to do sometime. I definitely have more plans in the future to do more kind of character-based role plays. I kind of went from like uploading quite often to uploading like once a week, once a fortnight, because I wanted to switch more to like really putting time and effort and characters into role plays because I found that if I was doing them too quickly, I just didn't have the time to really sink my teeth into them. But I have a couple coming up in future. I have quite a few sci-fi ideas. Um, yeah, not yes and no, not really. I want to do a. I know Atlas has already done one of these, but I want to do a what we do in the shadows um video because like I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, but it's a New Zealand movie. Um, it's very funny. The humor is just very classic Kiwi humor. And I want to do like one of those with a really strong Kiwi accent, like really kind of lean into it. Um, and kind of base it off the same universe that's in. It's based in the movie is set in the capital city, which I have visited quite often. Yeah, and it's just a love letter to Wellington. But yeah, just in the future, I plan on doing something like that.
Nice.
Uh-oh, he doesn't know
Nice.
he's muted. Bingo cards, everyone. Get them out. He still doesn't. Nathan, you're
Unmute
muted.
yourself, Squire.
What was that, Dan?
There it
So
is.
yeah, no, listen, I was testing you. I wanted to make sure you all had your audio sort of just really, set up correctly, and it was just a test. So a check, mic check. So listen, Amy K, did you want to talk about? Yeah, there we go. See, it needs to be done once in a while. Amy K, did you want to talk about a character that you really a favorite character to play as, or do an impression of, whether you've done it in ASMR or otherwise?
I do a lot of impressions of a lot of different like characters and movies, and I love to do impressions. They're one of my favorite things. Plus, I love doing accents as well. One like character of like that's not based off anything that I always go back to is my dumb character with the high voice. That's kind of similar to the alien, but it's not. Where she's, oh yeah, you want a cranial learn exam? Or, like where it's just like high voice, and then they just have this like way of speaking. So I always default back to that if I feel like doing like a quirky stupid one where I just like I don't want to research how to do this certain type of medical thing, so I'm just going to be horrible at it, and it's going to be okay because I just graduated, yeah, kind of thing. But most recently, like I really enjoyed doing Winona Ryder's character from Stranger Things. That's one of my recent favorite impressions. But yeah, I just love doing impressions.
Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to the next question here because we do have quite a bit. Even with our extension, we're going to run up on time here. This one is from Tinglesmith, who asks, if money was no option, what role play would you do? Jeremiah, do you want to start us off?
Man, somebody actually just recently suggested doing Soldier Boy from
Yes, do it.
Homelander. My issue is it'd be fun. My issue is it's like, dude, like some of like shout out to all the amazing creators out there who would do your amazing cosplay. Like, it's like whether it's Fred's voice or Amy, like, you guys like the costume budget, like what would it even cost to like get a Soldier Boy look? Like, so I guess, yeah, if money was no object, like that would be really fun. It'd be really fun just to go, bananas with the costume. Same with like Obi-Wan, like to get like a real like Jedi. Those things are expensive. Those costumes cost a lot of money. So yeah, if money was no object, yeah, like I would do like more like just crazy kind of sci-fi role play stuff, and I would just have like a closet full of cuckoo bananas, amazing costumes. So,
Shiver Me Tingles, what about you?
I really
money
want
was
to
not
do.
an option.
I really want to do the chemical burn scene from Fight Club. and play a femme version of Brad Pitt. I just think that scene,
That'd be cool.
it's like about enlightenment. I think it's amazing. And
Yeah.
but I would only do it if I could like get a wig, exact costume, backdrop. No one steal this roleplay from me. It's mine.
It's copyrighted.
We'll
It's
find
copyrighted now.
I
it's
like the
that's
backdrop.
it.
Like I don't know anything about green screen at all. I'm terrified I'll get the green glow on my hair. So like, or like behind me. So I would just make a set, and like you've got to have the Starbucks in the background because that's in every scene of Fight Club. So yeah, I really want to do that. Especially with the cutaways when he's like, "Don't go to your special place," and like there's like cutaways of like him in the forest, I think, or like the snow and like a tundra, a forest, a snow tundra.
Yeah, I wish, I'm sorry to interrupt, I'm just thinking like, yeah, to be able to have like your own cinematographer where it's like you don't have to be your own cinematographer. Like I could have like two people like doing different angles, and that way, I know, you're just giving me ideas. That'd be so fun to have like a movie production. Anyway, sorry,
so
go.
that, or I guess like Galadriel. I get a lot of requests to do Galadriel like all the time. It's I want to learn to green screen first so you can get the like Lothorium in the background. But yeah, Galadriel I get a lot. I think that's it. There's a couple of sci-fi ideas that I have that are in the future. I'm really fascinated by AI at the moment, so there's a couple of like AI based role plays that I want to do. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, we got a couple comments here. By the way, we're getting slammed with questions here, so we're going to do our best to get to as many as we can within the next 20 minutes. So if we don't get to you, I apologize in advance. We have a shout out to Shiver Me Tingles. Love your role play, says XCape ASMR. Fam Cam ASMR says Shiver. If you do a Femme Brad Pitt, I want to be bearded Edward Norton. Carol Rolkia says, watch The Boys on Amazon Prime. Brilliant. And I might be biased because, you know, I'm into that show too. Let's see here. A Forrest Gump collab would be cool with Forrest Gump, the captain, Jaime. Independent Bitch just says that. Oh, yes, Galadriel says ASMR Architect. And oh, we got one more from Huntley Jeremiah is for me, the roleplay king. And we also have a raid from RJ and J with a party 54. Thank you so much, RJ and J. We love you. That's fantastic. Welcome to Tinglecon, all of you. And hello to all of RJ and J's friends and fans. Welcome to our roleplay panel. So we're going to be jump back into hello. Hype Squad. Welcome, Raiders. We're going to jump into our next question here because we are tight on time here, but thank you so much to everyone who just joined us. So here we go to the next one. This is from, actually, Amy K, you know, you didn't get a chance. I get tied up on all those questions. If money was no option, why don't you share with us? What would be something you would do there?
I'll be quick. If there's a cosplay I want to do, basically I make it happen and I go broke doing it. But if I had a ton of money, I would just make way more elaborate sets, and I would spend so much money on props, as well as my cinematic ones. I really want to start like renting out places. Like there's one that I have in mind where I need like a hotel room, and I'm like, I could make my place look like a hotel room, but like, what if I just like got a hotel room? But then I was like, I don't know if that would work. But anyway, yeah. So I would like rent spaces if I could.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would just hire a production crew, basically.
Yeah,
That'd be amazing. That's no big deal. Just hire a production
show up
crew.
to set and like, you know, act and then get out and they edit.
Perfect.
Fantastic. All right, we got another question here, and that is from Bearded Audio ASMR. And Bearded Audio ASMR is asking, what roleplay has been on your to-do list the longest? Let's actually start from the end first. Amy K, why don't you start us off there since you didn't have a chance to answer that last one adequately.
So on my to-do list for the longest, I might have to
that you feel you want to share.
Well, I've already shared this before, so I'll share it again.
Yeah, please.
So like last December, I did a Jinx video, and I was like, I'm gonna make a second one, and I'm gonna build up, I'm gonna continue with this hype, and I'm gonna make it and premiere it in like January, like a month later. And I kept writing it, didn't like the script, and then I was like, I don't like these visual effects, scrap that. I need to find a different way to do this. And then I rewrote it, and just basically since January of this year, I've been meaning to do a Jinx roleplay, and I have yet to do it because it's not good enough.
Awesome.
But I still plan on it.
We'll be waiting. We'll be waiting. Shiver me tingles. What about you? Is there a role play that's been, I think you mentioned a few of them, but is there anything in particular, maybe besides the Fight Club genius idea, that's been on your list for the longest?
There's like basic ones that I just keep putting off. Like, I want to do like a haircut, but also wash your hair. But that requires 2 different like spaces. And I'm like, nah, it's too hard. It's too complicated. For such a basic, like, plotless video, I'm just like, nah. But like, I've been meaning to do it. Or like an optometrist video with the changing of the lenses.
Yeah.
Gotta have the right equipment for that one. That's hard.
Yeah. But that's it. Just the ones that seem too hard.
I feel you. I remember somebody suggested, and they're like, "Well, why don't you do this thing? We're kidnapped, and then we're in the trunk of a car, and in the backseat." I'm like, you don't understand how many different shots and locations that requires. Like when you're watching a show on TV, you don't really notice how often it's cutting. It's cutting all the time, and it's like that is a production, my friends, to make that possible. But sort of along the same lines, is one of my patrons really wants me to do another ASMR blind date, but I play all the characters. So like that sounds like a lot of fun, but that's going to take a lot of like actual scripting, and I got to, okay, what am I going to say to make it out like the reaction shot, then this reaction shot is like, I want to do it. It's just, there's a lot that goes into making like even 4 characters cohesively talk back and forth to each other, So yeah, that's the one I've been putting off is blind date part 2. So yeah.
Fantastic. All right, so we're going to move on to our next. Actually, Birch in the Woods is saying they're headed out of here. Thank you, Birch in the Woods, for joining us. Welcome, and have a great night. Angela Adventure says half of Jay's production budget is just peanut butter M&Ms. That is definitely that's not a bad budget to have. Beard Audio ASMR says the blind date video was hilarious.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the next question here because we again have so many that keep coming in here. Sorry to ASMR panel, there's a lot of interest here. So this is from ASM Architect. Which video took you the longest to make? Like the whole process from concept to upload. Shiver me tingles. You want to start us off?
No, I have to think. Can you ask someone else quickly?
Right. Okay. What about Jeremiah? We'll go back to you. What's the like the one that's taken you the longest to do? The longest video.
Blind date. So that early collaboration was, people also don't realize like collabs take a lot of work, and especially if you're the lead person. And luckily for me, I got to work with Atlas like really early, and he has had such an organized way of like, okay, here's the Google Doc, here's the script, and everybody's going to do this. But he was very, very organized. And so I tried to do the same thing with Blind Date, and it worked. But you just, trying to coordinate and then get the files from everybody and get the this and the that. I put so much work into that, as opposed to, I'm thinking of like Amy, where, the thing you do the least amount of effort for, does so well. I put so much time into Blind Date, and it just got like nothing. You know what I mean? I was like depressed. I was like, dude, what the heck? So yeah, that's also maybe why I haven't done one since. But yeah, that video, that one took me by far the longest and the most difficult to put together. Yeah.
Fantastic. What about you, Amy K?
Definitely the Scarlet Witch video, because there was 3 different costumes, and I had like to shoot outside near the trees, on the porch. I had like running up the house scene, the tucking you in scene. I had the scene dressed up as Scarlet Witch, and it took me months to write the script, and then it took me 3 weeks to film it. And then I was like, that's it. I'm not spending any more time with this. And I spent like all my waking hours. I slept for like 4 hours for like several days, just editing nonstop, because I just wanted to get it done. So that one took me forever.
Wow.
I have never put that. I mean, that's an incredible amount of effort.
It depends on my motivation. Some days I have enough motivation for like a point and just like talk, and some days I have motivation to do a whole production, and it doesn't. You never know.
Wow.
I think that's one of those things a lot of people, they don't understand necessarily the difficulty of being a YouTuber, but for sure, like there are some easy parts, but the hard part is you got to be ready to, you're not just on camera, but it's what you're doing off camera, preparing. That's like 90% of the job is like all the editing, all the getting the costumes, doing this and that. But the just being on camera and enjoying it is the very small sliver of the part. So it's very, very hard for people who don't know all the work that goes into giving you all tingles. Okay, so let's move on to the actually, was that everyone or just Shiver Me Tingles?
No.
Did you get a chance there? Shiver Me Tingles, are you ready
I had
to
time
give
to
us
think
your
about it.
all right, cool.
So like if I can't do it in one night, it's not happening. So like I'll spend ages editing. I'll do like layered sounds for like a few like days, but if I can't film it in one night, I'm just like, because you have to like get the makeup the same and not take the set down, and like I don't know, I think if I let something go for too long, my ego gets caught up in it, and then I start to doubt myself, and then it'll just get completely undermined. So if I can just get it done and on an impulse, and this is something I'm working on, I will.
I feel you on a deep level. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on to the next question here. So we have 10 minutes left. I'm going to leave this up to the artist. We'll try to do as much as we can. I mean, we could go longer if you guys are able to, if they were coming up on time. I guess just let us know when you have to head. One of us has to head out. We'll just end it. I'm going to try to get through as many of these as we can here. So this next one is from Watchmakering. Do most of the roleplay videos rely on a timeline of events? For instance, it may be harder to get a live viewer into the right state of mind to receive tingles if they joined halfway through. Thus, a platform like Twitch may not be the best for roleplay. Thoughts? So I guess he's asking, does the sequential order matter the most, just to kind of engage the viewer, or? Hey, McKay, you want to start? No, please.
An interesting question. And I know that some people do like skip to the middle of the video. And this is something I've become aware of, because you know how YouTube has like the most replayed time? Almost every single video is right in the center, and that's because they're skipping to the middle, which I never thought of before. But anyway, I just know that within the first 5 minutes, I try to put my best content, because if they're still watching after 5 minutes, they're probably going to continue watching your video. So that's where you try to hook them up, and try not to do too much like what's the word? Setup. Like if you're taking forever to explain what you're about to do, they're gonna click off. So you do a little,
right.
You gotta do quick, short and sweet, and then start with your triggers.
Yeah.
But I love 2-minute intros. Come on. Shiver Me Tingles, what about you? Do you think that the order of events really matters, or to engage the viewer, or like, do you think it might affect maybe Twitch versus YouTube, that kind of thing? Does it matter?
I don't know. If I'm honest, like, I feel like if you watch a video all the way through, you've probably got your favorite parts. The beauty of ASMR is having a variety of triggers in one video. If you like writing sounds, you might just like the first 5 minutes of writing things down and then watch that. If you are one of my subscribers, you probably love light triggers, so you're gonna skip to the part of the cranial nerve exam where it's just light triggers and then just watch that over and over. I can't answer that question. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, what about you?
Yeah, that.
Oh wow, there we go. We needed
Every
some
time.
light trigger in this video. Yeah, we
Light trigger warning. Light trigger warning. You know, I don't remember the order. I love what Amy said, where don't get, and I'm so guilty of this because I'm very verbose and I'm very
Yeah.
chatty, so
What do
I
you
can
think I thought of it? It's because
I
I'm
can
guilty of it.
yeah, like spend like 5 minutes like now the video begins, and it's like, no, don't do that. But I have done role plays live on Twitch. Now, I definitely don't. I only live stream for 2 hours, so I'm not like one of those like marathon 6-hour live streamers. But and I'll go all over the map from just chatting to like different things. But when I get like a medical can we do like a live doctor role play? It's like, sure. And I think it works. I mean, I don't, I think it's relatively as if I'll do like a thing where, I'll go off screen. So it's like, and hi, how are you today? Yeah, my name's Jeremiah, and it's like, but like that little break is enough and people will buy it. They're like, okay. And now we're doing a role play now. And I think it works on even live on Twitch. I mean, because our ability as viewers, listeners, our imaginations are really good. Like, we can really quickly get sucked into a story or a concept, and it's like, okay, yep, I'm with you. As long as the person doing it is really into it and having fun, then we're going to be like, oh wow, yeah, oh, you're definitely my doctor. Yep, got it. Okay, go. So I think I don't think doing live on Twitch, but I guess the question was about the order.
Yeah, I think it was
Like like Amy was saying, or like Shiver was saying, it's like it doesn't. Yeah, you kind of skip around, but some people are gonna love the light thing. Some people are gonna love the writing thing. Some people are gonna love the thing.
I love those.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, it doesn't, and you can't try to make everybody happy all the time. So you just have to, do it, and yeah, I don't know. I'll stop.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, if anyone here has not tried VR, you can see like when you do it for like an hour or two, your brain so easily adapts to like the world in that VR. It's like so unconscious, and it seamlessly adapts. It's like all of a sudden the cartoony world, it's like you don't think about it, you're in the world. And that's definitely something that you're touching on, that aspect of the human brain to be able to do that. We have some comments here, and then we got just a few. So just to say, we are now closed on questions, 100% beyond closed. We have like a bunch more here, so we're just gonna close it here now and try to get through what we have. And so I do want to read these comments here. Carol Roja says that Scarlet Witch cinematic ASMR video was amazing. I agree with that. ASMRtict says stay forever. Well, I don't know. We'll see what we can do. Chris Creostan8. I'm having some Creostain. Okay. How do you pronounce that? Okay.
That's what I'm
How do you pronounce that name? Would love to see Shiver doing more role plays. So talented and funny.
So I do a shout outs thing. So that's one of the people that gets a shout out. So it's Thane Creos 8, I believe.
Gotcha. Thane they have it reversed on Twitch here. Thane Creos 8. So it's Creos Thane 8 versus Thane Creos 8. And Famcam says light triggers are the best. Carol says I don't like them. Yaloma says, oh my god, light. Jade the Ace says shiny. Okay, one more. We got a lot of sort of we got Yopela saying Jeremiah is so bright. And we got one more comment here before the next question, and it's Bearded Audio ASMR says, I just want to say I think Jeremiah is a super cool dude, and I hope we can meet IRL someday. I'm sorry I don't engage with you on socials more often.
Aww.
Back at you, bro.
Yeah, Jeremiah does seem like a
bromance.
Agreed.
Thanks.
We got more love for the Scarlet Witch RP as well. So that's another. Look, it's love for everybody, basically. Love so all love. Around. Hugs for all. Okay, so we'll go into these. The next question here, and 1, 2, 3. We have 6 questions. So do we have time, guys, for 6 more questions? I think some of them are shorter.
All day.
We'll go all right. Yes. All right.
It's
nice.
like 10 a.m. for you.
Yeah, 10 a.m. for you. You're just getting started. So JB Ace, what is One, okay, so we kind of answered this question, but maybe just give another one that you're proud of. What's one role play you're super proud of? And that's from, Jade the Ace.
I've answered this a few times, so I'm gonna let them.
Yeah, we'll skip Amy K. Shiver Me Tingles or Jeremiah. Do you want to just another video you want to maybe talk about for a second that you really enjoyed?
So many, God. But yeah, I mean, I'll give a shout out again to Atlas and the Gentleman because that was such a
That
not
was a
only
classic.
fun it was not only fun, it was just such a positive experience getting to work with everybody on both of them. Everybody was so cool. Like they're just cool. It's like I would love to kick it with these guys. And I love the whole Teddy Quid thing and the fact that, I inherited a freaking roulette table from my grandparents. That's like who has I remember somebody's like, who the hell has a roulette table? This guy. And yeah, so like those were really fun to do. Teddy Quid anything is fun. I don't know. Maybe that answers the question. I'll let Shivers take
Yeah,
it over.
I think that does. Yeah, Shiver Me Tingles. What about you? Just another role play you're particularly proud of, maybe.
I'm proud of all of my role plays. They're all my children. I don't know. I can't stop thinking about this one where I did There's Something in Your Eye, but like the things in your eye are things that are not in your eye. If you want to watch it, I'm not going to spoil the things that are in your eye, but like it escalates.
Oh, that's right. I love your accent. It escalates. I can't even do it.
It escalates.
Yeah, I love that.
It escalates.
Escalates.
Yeah. Just, if you ever want to do a Kiwi accent, just watch
Oh,
them
I've
all.
tried. I can't do it.
Oh,
Mine
it's
always
really weird.
slides into Australian. It's like a weird Kiwi hybrid Australian mishmash of things.
Yeah.
It's not quite right. It's somewhere in the middle.
All you have to
Anyway,
say is cool, and then you're Australian suddenly. My accent work's not great. So I just like ham down on the Kiwi accent. But yeah,
Fantastic.
I like all my role plays. They're all great.
Awesome.
nice.
All right, let's move on. I love that. Let's move on to the next question here. I can listen to impressions all day, every day. Is there a role? This is from Angela Adventure. Is there a role play role you've wanted to do but haven't quite found the vehicle for it? Maybe we've kind of answered that. I feel like we're going to move on from that because we've kind of beat that one, the dead horse there. But just that's kind of like if you had infinite money, I feel like. Yeah, so we've kind of gone on. Let's go to the next one here. This is Yopela, aka Yaloma. Yaloma says, do you have a good trick to keep a voice for a long time? Because when I change my voice for a role play, my real voice tends to come back naturally after 5 minutes. Maybe Jeremiah, you might, since you're an actor, do you have any good advice on that?
And it's just practice. I mean, I've been working on accents and things for a very, very long time, and every now and then I'll catch myself kind of sliding around in accents. The tricky part is like jumping, like accent jumping with characters in the same like short period of time. That's harder, but it's just you just got to practice. Unfortunately, I wish there was a better trick. It's like if you take these steps, and it's like no, you just gotta do that voice a ton, and it gets more and more natural, and eventually you're just gonna be able to pop into it. But just practice.
Fantastic. What about you, Shiver Me Tingles? Do you have any advice for sharing kind of how
I don't
you
know.
hold your accent for a long time?
I'm not really great at accents. If I need to do an accent, I will channel
Or
like
any voice, or it could be any voice. It could just be like
yeah,
any role play voice.
I will like channel like someone like if I want to do like Irish, then you just say Saoirse Ronan and suddenly you can't stop speaking in the Irish accent at all. It's not very good right now because I'm a little bit nervous, but also if you watch Derry Girls for a long time, you can't stop doing it. It's not great, but like channel an actor.
Yeah, yeah.
Amy K, what about you?
What they both said is practice. But also, what I do to learn accents is I will watch a movie or a TV show that has that accent, and then I just pick it up, and then I'll just like kind of like repeat what they say, and the next thing you know, I can talk it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Except Australian and New Zealand. I can't do those ones.
Yeah, just and like Shiver said, like having like a trigger word to get you into that
Yes.
accent is very helpful. But other than that, yeah, you just like Amy said, you watch shows you like with the accents they do, and I'll try to repeat the dialogue the way they said it, and try to learn the cadence, and it's like okay, there you go. But yeah,
That trigger word, that's really cool. I never thought about that, but that's a great idea. Carol Rohia says, I am off to bed. I might be lurking. Enjoy and all the ASMR videos. Bye, Carol. We love you so much. Thanks for being awesome. Okay, we're moving on to the next thing here. Next question we've got. Lemonade Joe 666 asks, what do you think to make Aliens or Alien original collab? Jeremiah?
I've never tried to do an alien collab. I do a trigger on Twitch called Alien Abduction, but it's really just like a trippy sound thing, and I use a glove. I'm covering this thing. I'm using light. But to do an actual alien role play never really crossed my mind. So I don't know. Well, it'd be kind of cool. It sounds like it's heavy production. It's hard. Even if that production is just the editing side, where it's like you're working with green screens, but you're layering and doing different stuff. And you think about when you watch something like a simple animation on a screen, like somebody, like let's say I do this, and as that happened, it was like a trail of dust following behind my finger. Do you people know how hard that is and how long it takes to create?
I know how hard that is.
It's like, dude, like that, like little 10-second cool thing that just happened, like that's a lot of like programming and inside either Resolve or Studio, whatever you're using, like. So yeah, I try to stay like, I try to keep it like, simpler for that reason, so that I don't get stuck in like editing, infinitum. Like Amy spending 3 months making a movie. Oh my God.
Shiver me tingles. What about you? What do you think about an Aliens or an Alien original collab?
I love aliens. Like I really love like space and astrophysics, multiverse theory. I'm really into those kinds of things. I don't know if I would even make one, but I like watching them and I like talking about extraterrestrials and other life. I think that's a fascinating topic, but it's not something I would make personally. I don't think. Maybe. I'm not going to say. Like,
we should like nominate somebody to play.
Wake up one morning, I'm like, I'm doing it.
Should nominate somebody to play Ripley. Somebody to get like really like into like the Sigourney Weaver. Like who could be Ripley?
I could spend days talking about Alien. Like, oh. But let's not, because I won't stop.
Yeah. Amy K, what about you? Have you thought about an Aliens thing or Aliens collab? I think you did some alien stuff already, so.
Yeah, are they talking about the movie or just like aliens in general?
I'm not quite sure. It wasn't. I'm reading it just as I got it here.
I'll answer it as both because it's the same answer. Okay, I will be in a collab. I will never be the head of a collab. So I am always up for any collab. I love being in collabs, but the other way around, no, thank you.
A lot.
Yeah, too much for me. I don't know how people do it. Seriously, like I have so much respect for people who put the collabs together. I really do.
Fantastic. We just have a couple more comments and one last question, and then we're all finished here. Yoloma saying she has to go to bed, so it was so interesting and lovely. Thank you, Yoloma, for joining us. We've got Lemonade Joe says, I hate Scottish, but I have been north and south and have two brothers living there, and they have an Irish accent, and it is purely insane. Creos Thane 8 or Thane Creos 8 says, Shiver was right. I'm one of hers. It's Thane Creos, like the Mass Effect character, and that's a fantastic game. Beard Audio says, I knew you guys were into aliens. I got the feeling she's into aliens in the mech. Ripley repairing her mech ASMR. I'm sure that's right. Okay. And ASMRtists says, as a Scott Lemonade, I am offended. All right, so let's go to our last question here. And this is from Lemonade Joe 666, and Lemonade Joe asks, how do you guys prepare yourself to engage? So I guess they're saying, how do you prepare yourselves mentally to get from the beginning to the end of your videos? Jeremiah, do you want to lead us off here on this last question?
Sure. So, before, especially with a new role play, like if I'm doing a cranial nerve exam, I've done enough of them now that I know kind of like where I'm going in that story. But if it's something new character, I'll definitely just take off the headphones, meditate, think about it, close my eyes. Where do I want this person to go? What conversation would I be having? What kind of dialogue? So that when I start the role play, I know I'm improving, but I know where I'm going. And like I said, I mean, I'm having a full-on Gestaltian conversation. Like I'm really hearing the person answering or asking questions or responding to me. And then, yeah, that's how I do it.
What about you, Shiver Me Tingles? How do you prepare yourself from the beginning till the end?
If I'm like doing something that's like high concept, I might make a list, and just have it aside to remember each step, because I don't script, so I just kind of have I have a really great mental map. Like I can visualize things really well. Yeah, so in terms of preparing, I just like leading up to it, like when I'm getting ready and I'm setting up, I honestly like full disclosure, I'm terrified. Like I'm working, like it's like trying really, really hard to like commit, but the moment I'm in the chair, it's just gone. It's like I psych myself up and then get in the chair, and then suddenly I'm like, oh, this is so much easier. Like if I had someone to like do all the setup for me, maybe I wouldn't be so like kooky in the head. But yeah, there is next to no mental preparation, to be honest. It's just sheer terror.
Awesome. That almost makes you feel better, like we're all terrified a little bit behind the lens.
It's like if I'm slightly tired, it's like pulling hairs, man. I'm just not. But I do it. I'm like, that was so easy. Why was I panicking? It was so easy.
I can relate to that. Amy K,
Yeah.
what about you? Want to close us down here with the last question of the panel here? Just how do you sort of engage yourself? How do you prepare mentally from seeing it from the start to the end?
I kind of went into my process of like how I do a video from start to end, but I will like speak a little bit about how like if there's a character that I am playing, or maybe someone I'm doing an impression of, as I am setting up or as I am doing my makeup or whatever, like right before the video, I either listen to whatever gave me the inspiration for that video, or I will talk to myself in the character. Like I will practice, if it's an improv one that I haven't like scripted or outlined, I will like, as I'm getting ready, like go through a few beginnings, like talking to myself in that character, so that once I turn on the camera, I'm like, bam, I got the best one, boop. So, because for me, I have a hard time, like, okay, go, just be in front of camera, do the thing. I need time to like get into the character so that it's smooth the whole video. So yeah, I like to sometimes like walk around pretending to be other people before I film.
Fantastic.
That's fun. I like that.
That is fun. All right. So with that said, did you folks want to add anything to that? I think otherwise that will be our last question of the roleplay panel tonight. So did you guys have anything else you want to add? Okay. So with that said, why don't we just take one more second to tell everyone where people can find your channels. ASMR Jeremiah, do you want to tell us where people can find you just real quick?
It's just that ASMR Jeremiah, on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, blah blah blah. So I'm the only one, I think, which is convenient. So yeah, ASMR Jeremiah.
Fantastic. Shiver Me Tingles, what about you? Where can we find you?
I'm Shiver Me Tingles, ASMR on YouTube, and Shiver Me Tingles on TikTok. You can find me there. I'm also on Twitter, Shiver Me Tingles, and then on Instagram, it's Shiver Me Tingles ASMR. There's a link tree on every single platform, so you can just jump on the metaverse. Never leave.
Awesome. And before I get to Amy K, I will say there's a lot of big thank yous here saying it's a great panel. So I think we're all appreciative here on the panel as well of all of you for watching. And then lastly, Amy K, did you want to take us out here with where can people find your channel and all of that good stuff?
Yep, you can find me on YouTube, Amy K ASMR. I have Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, but those aren't professional. They're more like, just like me. Not in character. So yeah, YouTube.
Well, awesome. And so with that said, we're gonna bring back Keith here. We're gonna thank our panelists for all their time. Thank you for staying late. We truly appreciate it. And that should be it for it. And also just one other thing, the music you're gonna hear is from ASMR Beats. Make sure you go check out that channel as well. And I'm sorry, what was that, Shiver Me Tingle?
Oh, I said wicked. This is a Kiwi thing. Wicked means cool.
Well, Boston. Also Boston.
Wicked.
Wicked cool. It's wicked cool.
I need to find the specific actor that used to always say that, and now it makes sense. Wait.
Absolutely.
Well, you don't. It doesn't have to be on stream. I'm just.
Well, that's fantastic. So all that said, thank you so much, and I believe Keith is gonna jump back in here at any moment to take us away here. Just a second. Keith, can you hear us?
Restart.
Keith, are you there, buddy? Are you there, my friend?
Wait.
That's my dog.
Maybe he fell asleep. Maybe it was so
asleep.
1 second. It was so that's what it was.
Yeah.
He's preparing that Fight Club. He's gonna take it because that's such a good idea. Don't you dare do it
right now so that you can.
Don't do it. Don't do it. There it is. There it is. Yes. Yes. Awesome. Well, welcome back, Heath. Fantastic.
Oh, cool.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for asking. I'm really honored. I'm like a real ASMRtist now. I'm invited to cool.
Please do it.
That's so cool.
What?
Oh, and he's muted.
No! We were just talking about the bingo.
You were so slick, dude. I was so slick.
Screw it. We're going to use the host panel. I did not know that we were going to use I did not know we were going to use the scene for that particular role play with me back in. So that's why you can't hear me.
Sorry about that. All right.
But yeah, so thanks everybody for coming on. Jeremiah, Amy K, and Shiver Me Tingles. Y'all were amazing. It was an absolute blast. Thank you all for submitting your questions. If we did not get to yours, I apologize. Be sure to send it to us at info@tinglecon.org. And to close out the day, we are going to be watching a 2-hour ASMR video reel submitted by a bunch of content creators. It's going to be great. So be sure to stick around and check that out. And then at the end of the day, we will raid somebody and continue the con on day 2 tomorrow at noon Eastern time. So thank you so much. We'll see you on the flip side.